Hello, you are welcome to another exciting React.js tutorial. This is the part 4 of our complete React.js tutorial. If you are new to this course, you know the drill. You need to click on the links in the description box and get yourself familiar with all the topics we have discussed earlier in this tutorial. Now, let us go straight to the business of today. Today, we are talking about React Router. React Router is the way we navigate around React components in our React project or in our React app. There has to be a way we navigate around the components, just like you have in other websites, like your HTML websites where you have the hyperlink, and when you click on the hyperlink, it loads more of what you are looking for. It takes you to another page or it takes you to another website. That is hyperlink. Now, it is similar to it. However, it's not the same thing. All right. The React.js router is much more, and we are going to be looking into it. Let us get into the business of today. My name is Martins, and this is Curly Brackets. All right, you're welcome once again. To demonstrate what we're talking about in React Router, I have before me here a little touch up to the project we used before. If you followed me in the last lesson, you will know what we did with this project when we studied forms and stuff like that. All right, so I just added this stuff here, navigation bar, where you have home, register, testimonials, contact us. Now, when I click on home, I want to get to the home page, right? We are going to develop some sort of home page in this tutorial. And when I click on register, then I want us to come back to this page. And when I click on testimonials, we should have anything we create to be testimonials. And when we click on contact us, we should see a page that says contact us. Here we have our app.js. This is the navigation component which I just created, nav.js, and here it is. So all of the codes that made what you have here happen are all right here. And here is our CSS, and I can close it for now. Here is our user form, the form we have right here for now. So I should close that too. I don't need it at the moment. So let's just leave this app.js. All right, so let us proceed. The next thing I need to do right now, I need to install React Router. As at the time this video was made, React Router just had a new version 6.4, which comes with a couple of new features. For this tutorial, we are not going to use the 6.4, which comes with a couple of new features, a couple of new data fetching features that is still new at the time of making this video. And we are not making use of those features right now, so that is the reason why I'm sticking to version 6.3, which is the most stable version at the time of making this video. Right, so and when you click on the installation, then you're going to see npm yarn pnpn. I'm using npm installation style for this tutorial, so let's just stick to that. So I just copy this code here and paste them on your terminal, and I paste them right here, hit enter. That should install React Router to our project. Yeah, the installation is done now. So the next thing we need to do, let us go back to let's go back to it. And when you go back to it, you are going to see the example. The example is there. Say import browser router from React Router DOM and all of those stuff. And here you see another example, route link. So you can, everything I'm going to teach you about how to use React Router are what you're going to find in this website. Now, this is a little bit of standard for most of the installation packages we have in React. Anytime you visit the website of a particular plugin or of a particular installation package, you're going to see examples written in that website, how to make use of them. However, I'm going to be a little bit more elaborate. Now that I have this installed, the next thing I need to do, okay, is we need to bring in our index.js component. All right, this is the root of everything we are making use of. Okay, by the time we are done, even if you have 100 components here and everything, at the end of the day, this app is submitted right here. It's submitted right here in the index.js. All right, and this app.js is at the end of the day what we get to see in our project. So everything that must display in our project, any feature that we must see in our project, must be a feature that somehow found itself in this place, in this app.js. All right, and that app.js is the only component that we have in our index.js component, which is where the root of everything, the root of our application is. Having installed React Router DOM, we need to import to install browser router from React Router DOM. Declare the browse router component and use it to envelope our app.js. So having done this, we have given our router the right, okay, the right to be the tool through which we navigate through this entire application. The next thing we need to do after here, I can now close this. Having done this, I can now close this. This is where the link is. This is not where the component renders. All we have here is the links. All right. All we have here is the link. So what I need to do here, I need to import link. Right? Where am I importing it from? From React Router DOM. And having imported it, so instead of having this h1 close h1 here, I can now say, can I declare link, and I have to close the link right here. So this becomes a link, a React Router link, right? But that's not all. This link is supposed to take us somewhere, right? So when we click on this link, we need to tell our application where to go, and we say it should go to home. Or since we are talking about the home page, we can just leave it like this. So every time we click on it, it goes to the root component, right? The home component. Okay. So, and this one here, we add the link component, and I want it to go to register and /register. Okay, and let's leave this for now and let's work on this too. Okay, so having done this, the next thing we need to do right now is, now let us explain what is going on here. This is the link. All right, so instead of, I mean, in HTML I would have had something like this. I would have said a reference equal to, wanted to take me to HTML. I would have said something like this. Take this off, and I made it like this, and when I click on this link, I want it to take me to some page. All right, so that is what we have used the link to replace right now. So we have the link. So every time we click on this home, on this text here, we want it to take us to the home page. That is what this represents. And every time we click on register, I want it to take us to this component. All right, register. Okay. So as a result of that, you can see that these two are now links, right? But this is not a link yet. You can see, but these two are now links. All right. Now we don't have homepage yet in this application. We don't have homepage yet. So let us create it, right? So I can just add a new component, and I'll call it home.js, and so every time we come to this page, for now, let me just see h1 that says this is the home page, right? Okay, so you just see h1 that says this is the home page. So let's have it like that for now. Oh, there's a mistake somewhere. Function home. So now I need to import this component into our app.js, and to do that I will say import home from home.js. That's what we'll have over here. Also, I can just leave this like this, right? Yeah. So having created the home page and imported it, I need to take off everything I have here for the moment. And I need to give an instruction here, but before I do that, I need to import something. I need to import routes and route from React router DOM. And what I need to do here is right now I need to declare routes. It should have open and closing tag. I'm creating this space here because a lot of things are going to happen inside this space. So now that I have my routes created, the next thing I need to do is to create route, and I'm going to say path. Okay, and this path represents what is the path, right? What is the path of this component? So I need to say I want it to be home. Okay, I want it to be home, and the element attributes. Okay, so the element attribute, we need to put something like this, and then we declare the component that when we get to this location, we get to this route, which component do we want to see? We want to see the home component. But that's not all. We also want to see, okay, let's just leave it like this for now. We want to see the home component. All right, so okay, so I need to self-close the route. Now you see what happened here. Let me explain again. Link, I say, where are you taking me to? I'm going to this location, which is the root, right? The root page, the home page. So every time we click on this, we want to take it to our home page, and then I put H1. So every time I click on this stuff, take me to this location. So this is what the user sees, right? This is the one that the user sees, that the user is going to interact with. Why this one here is an instruction that belongs to React.js only. The user has no nothing to do with this. So we have given the user something to see, but then we passed a code underneath it, all right, that says every time I click on this, I'm going here. So now we need to write another code, another React router code, so that every time the user clicks here, something is going to display, something is going to show. And what is that thing? That is what we did here. So every time the user clicks on that link, we say we created our routes, right? Covered it, and all of our routes are going to all of our routes that we have in this are going to go under here. So we say the route you should go is path / that is the home page, and the element which we display is the home component, right? What the user is going to see is the home component. Now, how does these two point together? Through this. If I say here, okay, let's just save this. Let's just save this and let's save this and run it so we can see what we are talking about. So let's run this. I need to close this. Just leave it. You see, I am in the home component, right? I'm in the home component right now. This is our root link, right? This is like your mikejohn.com, the first page that loads. So that is what that / represents. Okay, and we can no longer see our navigation bar. So if we want to see our navigation bar, what we need to do is to simply bring in the nav bar back here. So not like this. So we need to bring in the nav bar right here like this. But that's not all. We need to put a tag that should cover. You need to put a tag that we are going to use to cover the two of them. So to do that, I need to say just put something like this. This should be enough to handle it because it's showing us error. So there should be a parent tag. All right, so let's check it out. How did these two marry each other, right? This stuff here and this one here, how did they marry each other? You can see every time we click on the home page, it brings us here. Okay, how did they marry each other? If we change this to, let's say, home, let's check it out, and then when we click here, it doesn't take us to the home page anymore. All right, it takes us to another page that doesn't exist at the moment, which is our root stuff / home, which is not in existence at the moment. So that means in order for your link, okay, to take you to your real destination, that where you're going, it means that what you have here after the to attribute, what you have here and what you have in your path should be the same thing. So we rendered our nav bar and we have our home page. So let us do another one for the register. Okay, to do that, and we already done that, we said link to home / register. Okay, so what do I need to do? I just need to copy this, paste it. Okay, and when this, our path should be register. We also wanted to render the nav bar. All right, and then we want to have the user form. That's the name of the component. We want the user form to render. So every time we click on this register, let us see what renders. So every time we click on this register, let's take this off. We'll click on register, it brings us here. When we click on home, it brings us here. Register brings us here, and you can see our link. It says our root URL / register. Okay, so if we say that, for example, in this link place, if we say take us to user register, okay, so when we click, it takes us to user register. Now we are in user register, but there is no component pointing to this address anymore. And the reason why there's no component pointing to this address is because you can see here the path is different from what you have here. Okay, so every time the user clicks here, our React is going to look for a component, another component that is routed to this location. All right, but there is none at the moment. But if we decide to change this and call this user register, then everything we have here is going to render. And what we have here is navbar and user form. We can even do one for footer, and we can decide to render that one under here. Okay, we'll click on register. We are in the register page. So now that we have our home and our register, let us go ahead and get these other two done. Now let us import our pages, our component. So we have contact, import contact, and then we have another we'll call is contact. This other one should be testimonials. Yes. Okay, so what we need to do, we don't need this for now. So in the navigation, let us go ahead and do the needful, and here, so let's call this testimonials. Let's call this Let's close the link and then we'll call this contact. Call this contact us. Let's close the link. So here is ready. So now app.js, we need to do the same. By the way, this whole thing can be one line if we so want. Can be one line, but I like clarity. That is why I don't hardly make myself one line. So this can be one line if you want. Okay. Yeah, you can just one line like this. Okay. That means I can just copy this and put it right here and call this testimonials, and then we want it to render the navbar too, and then we want the testimonials to be rendered. After that, that should make our testimonial page working. This is testimonials page. Yeah, very well. So we can paste this again. This should be for the contact us, and we call this contact. Okay, so we have, yeah, we have the contact, right? Yeah. Okay, so let us check it out. This is where we are going to have a problem. See that, right? I did this deliberately, all right, to show you what I was talking about the last time. Now in our link we have contact us. Link is going to contact us, and the route is accepting, is trying to push the path contact, and they didn't marry, right? So it just has to be the same thing. Okay, so let us go there. We have the contact us page. So we have home, register page, testimonials, and contact us. Now let us dive a little bit deeper into React Router, and the next thing I'm going to talk about right now is, all right, so in this form, for an example, we have a lot of things that we discussed in our last lesson, and one thing this form here does is when we enter a name here, John Mark, and enter email address johnmark@johnmark.com, and John Mark is a back-end developer. When we click on submit, we have everything that we submitted back here. All right, now you can think of other situations where you want everything you enter here, you want to carry it to a different component for processing. Okay, so how do you handle that? So I have all of this, and what this means is we don't need to have this display here anymore. We don't want this display here anymore. So let's just let's take it out. Yeah, so it's off, or we can just leave it there. Let us just take off the content, so it can just be there as it can just stay there as aesthetics, you know. Okay, and that means where is that button? There's our button. Okay, here is the form handle submit. So there's a function that handle submit, and here is that function. Okay, so formally we sent everything we submitted into an object. So we don't for this example right now, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do this for now. Okay, so let us take this out. All right, so all of these input.username.trim are the things we use to test if the user entered something or not. All right, if this place is confusing, please, you should check out the previous lesson. The link is in the description box. Okay, but there is really nothing much going. This is just a form. All right, what we use this code to do is just to test if the user entered something really, because we don't want to submit an empty text box. That is what this guy here does. So in this function, we are saying if none of these input elements are empty, right? Or if they are empty, we want it to, let's check it out. If we click on submit, we have this that says fail or input, right? Because we don't want anything empty. So now we want to test. If it is not empty, we want it to do something here, right? That's the next code now we're going to write. So to do what we want to do, we need to carry everything that we have entered here to another component. That is the idea right now. So what do? First, we need to import something called use navigate from React Router DOM, right? Okay, so for that, we want to input something called use navigate. All right, so the next thing I need to do, we need to say const navigate is equal to use navigate. All right, so we are saying const, so this variable navigate is equal to use navigate. All right, so this becomes the variable through which we can access what this guy has to offer us. Okay, so I need to say right here, I need to say if this whole thing is correct, I want you to navigate to this page. Welcome. Okay, I want you to navigate to welcome. Okay, now let us check this out. So if I enter John Mark, an email address, I enter john@john.com, and I choose full stack developer. I click submit. It takes me automatically to another component called welcome, right? Where the URL is welcome. Okay, so it tests all of the stuff I told it to test, and then every time I click on submit, it takes me to another place. Now you see this a lot when you are filling forms and all of that. That is what use navigate does. All right, now, but that's not all. Okay, we don't just want it to take us to this place, we want it to carry something with it. But before that, let us create a component here. Let us call it welcome. Call it welcome.js. By the way, you can also say JSX if you want, right? I'm used to saying JS, so but you can say .jsx. All right, so let's quickly create something and say h1 want to say welcome to curly brackets. All right, so but that's not all. We need to import that page, that component we just created. We need to import it and say on welcome, and then we want it to be rendered here. We have to render it, and we need to say path. We need to put the same path we put on our navigation, right? I will say welcome. So where is it? The user form. All right, so we have here. So every time when we fill this form, Mr. Man, check if this form is well filled, right? Check if everything is correct, and if everything is correct, if no field is empty, check if any of the fields are empty, and if no field is empty, we want you to take us to this component when we click the submit button. So this handle submit is rendered here. So every time we click on submit, this function runs. All right, so let's check it out again. Mike at shelby.com, and he's a front-end developer. Submit, and it takes us to welcome to curly brackets. Okay, so the component we just created right here. Okay, but then that's not all we want to do. We want it to carry something with it. We want it to be able to to carry stuff with it. Okay, and how do we do that? How we do that is we want it to carry all of this information we have filled here. All right, we want it to carry them so that it can display something for us. So that is just one of the things that, one of the importance of use navigate. Okay, now we need to say comma, and also this can actually be a single quote like this. So to do this, let's put a comma here, curly brackets, and we'll say state. So we are declaring a state right now. All right, and this state should hold some sort of okay, let's just make this state, let's just make it hold just one simple thing. We want it to hold input dot username, right? Just this. Okay, just this. We want this state to hold input dot username. So the state is holding just this. So let us go to welcome.js. right now here we need to import something. We need to import, we use navigate to make this happen. Right now we're going to use location right here from React. Okay, so and the next thing we need to do here, we need to say const location. Oh no, we can call it anything. We can say locate, but call it location. I want it to use location, so we are using this variable here, location, okay, to says whatever this guy has to offer us. So the next thing I need to do, I'm going to say const what do I call it? Let me call it username is equal to location dot state. Now this is how this works. Let us console.log this. Console.log username, right? Okay, now let me explain again. We passed a value to our use navigate. So this time around, before it just navigated to, before it only navigates to the welcome page that we created earlier right here, but now it doesn't do just that anymore. We want it to carry a state with it. All right, so it carries this with it. Now when we are going to develop our full application, which is going to be an e-commerce website, you're going to see how we're going to make all of this. All right, everything I've been learning so far, we're going to bring them together to form a very big application that you are going to be very proud of, I promise you. Now you see, earlier we said every time we fill this form, test if the inputs, if everything is filled, if all of the inputs are filled, and if this condition is met, we want you to take us to welcome, right? We want you to navigate to this place. So every time we click on this button, it just check if all the inputs are, everything is imputed. It takes us to this page, and when we come to this page, we don't really do anything, we don't see anything, right? It just takes us here. But now we want it to do something else, right? We want use navigate not just to take us to this page, but we want it to carry a state with it, to carry some data, some information. That information we have filled, and for now the only information we need is input dot this one here, username, right? So username. Okay, by the way, the link to this project is going to be in this tutorial, so you can just download it and check out all of the code that I have written, and it can help you. So this particular time, it carries a state with it, and that state has something. That something is whatever we fill in that username inbox. All right, we want to make use of whatever it brings all right, from wherever he's coming from to this place. We want to make use of some data, from the place he's coming from. That is actually what this use location is for. One of the things it is for, actually. All right. So, and then we use this variable location here to assess some of the things that this guy has to offer. And one of the things that this guy has is a state, the state that we passed from where we are coming from. All right, is right here somewhere, and we need to access it. And how do we do that? We need another variable. We use another variable called username, and say we want to access location.state, the state we had from where we are coming from, obviously. So now let us console log username and see what we have right there, right? So let's go back to register and let us say now let us check our console and see we have Thomas Shelby right here. Okay, so if we decide to display this name right here, it means that we can do that. Okay, so we can say welcome username. Okay, just say hello username, welcome to curly brackets, and then we have it. Hello Thomas Shelby, welcome to curly brackets. You see that? So we carry this from here using use navigate, and then we use location. Use location and use navigate are all things that we picked up from React Router. So there are many other features, some other features of React Router that we're going to be exploring as we go, but this is just some of it. All right, now let us go back here. Now what if we want to pass everything we entered, right? Of course we used only the name, but there are still other things, right? There are still other information in that form that we might decide to make use of. So how do we do that? All we need to do is we just need to say state, we put another curly brackets. Now we need to make it an object. So input dot username, comma, and then we'll give it let's call this one email input dot user email, comma, we call it position input dot my job. Yeah, that's it. So we are, this state right now is going to hold an object, right, instead of just a single item like he had before. So let's just check it out. So let's not use Thomas Shelby again. Let's use the other guy from Lord of the Rings, Frodo Baggins, and then we should say Frodo at baggins.com, and he's a back-end developer. So let us, okay, our guy is broken. We need to find out why. Okay, it's saying object with keys name, found object with keys. Okay, so let us quickly correct that. It's broken. Okay, so actually the reason why this is broken is because of how we assessed the previous one. Welcome, we shouldn't do this, all right, because username right now is now an object with keys. So let's just take off username for now. It's not an object with keys, so we can't just say username anymore because it's now an object. So let us check it out. Yeah, our guy is back. So then let us Let us take a look at it at console and see what it looks like. I think I need to, the former error we had should still be there, so I'll just clear it for the time being. So ignore this. These are errors from the previous error that we just corrected. So this is what we're looking for. So now we have an object that has name, email, and position. So now we can now access these guys properly by saying username. Instead of saying instead of saying username now, which is an object, which is why we got the error, the error of a broken application the last time. So we should just say username dot name, which is what we'll have here. Sorry, capital letter M, capital letter M. Yeah, welcome to curly brackets. So we can let's now add other things. Let's say let's save it. Okay, we have it. Hello Frodo Baggins, welcome to curly brackets. Your email address is frodo@baggins.com. Your position is backend developer. When a user registers in a website, it is expected that we create a unique ID for the profile page of this user. For an example, you might have something like facebook.com/Thomas Shelby, facebook.com/Frodo Baggins, or you can even in some websites where you create a unique URL for yourself, like Twitter or Instagram. These are unique IDs. So every user have a unique ID, a unique URL, right, to their name. The project we have at the moment doesn't really give us the room to explore this topic to a high extent, but to some extent we should be able to do it, and we should be able to understand what it is used for and how we can apply it. Okay, so like we already have a situation where a user registers, and then we have a page that displays the user's name, the user's email address, and the user's position. Okay, we already have this done, but you can see that this page still bears welcome, still bears a /welcome. So this is still the URL, okay, of this page, and this is going to be the URL for everyone who registered in this page. So even if we have John Mark, John Mary, and everyone, this is going to be their page. So this user does not have a unique profile. There's no unique profile to this particular user, and for this reason it is difficult for this user to share his or her profile page on social media and say, hey, if you want to see my page in curly brackets, click this link. There is really no way this particular user can point anybody to his or her particular page or profile page in this application. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So now there is no database for at the moment, all right, for this application. So there is no place where we are storing all of these things for now. All right, I hope you know that. So if you're going to do this, you are going to need some other things, database and some other things that I am not mentioning in this tutorial right now, but I just want to mention this. I just thought everyone know already, but I just want to mention it. All right, so let us go straight to the point. The first thing we need to do right now, when this our guy is done registering, okay, and you know, when they click submit, this guy takes them to the page where we have all of this happen. So the next thing we need to do is that we need to add something extra here. And what we need to add is we need to add slash, and then we need to get rid of this single quotes or double quotes and make use of this particular one and this particular one. That the reason why we are adding this is because we are going to incorporate JavaScript code in this link. All right, if we are using the single quote, all right, this particular one, of course we can still add JavaScript code, but that will be a little bit of long story, so we can just make use of this. So what we need to do right now, we need to add $sign and then curly brackets. All right, what we need to do here, $sign curly brackets. So we are saying it will not just be /welcome anymore. It will be /welcome / something. And in the time being, let's just say /input dot username. Of course, we can still add other things. In some applications where when a user registers, the default username becomes the name of the user without the spaces, the name of the user plus the date and time the person registers. Okay, and some other people use other type of stuff to generate a unique ID, but for sake of the small application we are building, let's just leave it here. So right now, when we click submit, we are going to see something different from what we had before. So now let us register. Let's say John Mark, john@john.com. It's a backend developer. Submit. Okay, we now have our root URL /welcome /undefined. Let's find out the reason why it is undefined. Oh, it's actually username with capital letter, not small letter, so that was confusing. So let's go back and let us have Thomas Shelby, email address thomasshelby@peakyblinders.org. He's a backend developer. Submit. Now we have our URL localhost /3000 /welcome /Thomas %Shelby. All right, now this whole thing here makes up for the space in between, so the computer is going to find something to cover up that space. But however, this is our unique link, so every time our Thomas Shelby guy shares this link, is sharing a link that will take us direct to his profile page. But there is still another problem. There is nothing displaying at the moment. All right, nothing is showing. That is because right here in our app where we declared the path to this particular profile page, we left it at just welcome. There is nothing else there. All right, so but we need to add something. We need to add semicolon. So we need to tell the path of the route to expect something extra, right? So but at the moment we can use anything to represent that thing extra it should expect. So we can just say semicolon expect something. So let us call that an ID, right? So with this link here knows that it is supposed to get something else. All right, it's supposed to get something else from the guy who is passing the link to it. So it's expecting this right now. All right, so we can just call it ID and let us see something here. Look at it, we have it. It's here right now. So now we have a unique link with our guy right here. Okay, if we need to make use of this data, right, in this place, right, this particular data here in this place, we can just use it by saying, okay, we already declared use location from import use location from React Router DOM. So we can just say also import use params from React Router DOM, and we can say const. We need a variable, and this is how we can do it. So we can call this ID or anything and say use params. So now with this ID we can access what we just passed through our params, right? So let us find out what is here. So we can say console.log. Let us log this ID. So let us see what is there. Let us see what is there. We have it, Thomas Shelby. Simple, right? We have our Thomas Shelby here. This is the ID. Okay, I can do a lot of things with this information right now. I can use it to query our database. That means the user doesn't have to enter this information again for us to use it to query our database, right? We can just carry it from the first page to the 100th page in this particular website, and we can keep making use of this data. This is all I can say for this topic for now, right? When we are going to build our elaborate project, our e-commerce website, you're going to see how all of these things I've explained, how everything is coming together, and we are going to make use of everything that I have discussed in this course. You can see these are some of the ways that we make use of React Router. This is something that we cannot get from the ordinary HTML hyperlink stuff. All right, but React Router is equipped with a lot of stuff that we can use to make our application beautiful. Now, the React Router 6.4 also comes with a lot of other features that we didn't touch at this point because we are not really making use of them at this point. And of course, some people are still making use of React Router 5, some are still making use of React Router 6, all right, while some have done some upgrade and are now making use of some of the new features that came with the React Router 6.4. all right, so probably by the time you are seeing this tutorial, we are now in React 7, React Router 7 or something, but I'm going to make another video. But for now, this is okay for what we are doing. And if you have followed me to this point in this tutorial and you understood everything, I want to give you some accolades. You deserve all the accolades in the world. You are doing amazing. Just try to practice as much as you can. The joy in this whole thing is not just to cram the codes, as some people think it is important to do. It is to understand the principles of everything, and how to understand the principles of everything and be able to build muscle memory is by working hard and writing codes often. Like I always say, the best way to learn how to write codes is to write a lot of codes. Okay, thank you. This is where we come to the end of this particular tutorial, and watch out for the next tutorial on our React.js beginners tutorial, where we're going to talk about React. We're talking about context API in React, and after that, the next tutorial we are going to have is on Tailwind CSS, and after that, we are going to build an e-commerce website from the ground up. It's going to be massive. We're going to build it from the scratch, and everything is going to be beautiful and thoroughly explained. I just want you to follow me. If you like what I'm doing here, please click on like, share the video, subscribe, tell people about this channel. Let us grow this community. See you and bye bye.